Hey guys, James here today and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Today I'm going to be ranking the Sims 4 packs in my personal order. So I'm going to rank expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs all separately in their own categories. Just so if you're looking for a new expansion or a game pack or a stuff pack, you sort of know what I would recommend and which one to go for. Now, of course, this is all my opinion, so your opinions may vary, but this is just what I think. Now, because there's a lot of stuff packs, I'm going to go through the sort of bottom few pretty quickly, just saying, you can get them if you don't have them, but you don't really need them. So working from the bottom, I've got My First Pet stuff, Spooky stuff, Luxury Party pack, fitness stuff, and toddler stuff. Those are the bottom 5. Now, each of these obviously have their own sort of thing that makes them special, makes them different, and makes them a little bit of fun. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't get these. These are awful, except for My First Pet stuff. Don't get that one. I'm just saying that these are not ones that I would really recommend going out and buying if you're trying to pick one and you don't have any yet. So essentially the problem with all of these is that they have this theme, they're really focused on themselves, and that theme doesn't really go with anything else. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, a lot of the other stuff packs are very focused as well, which is kind of the idea. But a lot of their items do go with a lot of other things. They have a lot of CAS items, a lot of build buy items, and it sort of all blends together really nicely. Now, for example, if I take Luxury Party Pack out of that sort of list there, and we look at that one, it just doesn't have that many items. The style of clothes is really, really out there, and I don't think I ever used them. Maybe a couple of the hairstyles. But overall, it's just one that's not very good. Like, it's not really worth the full price of $10 US. If you can pick up any of these cheaper, 100% recommend it. So the lower down the list is basically, if it's on sale, only buy it then. So that's kind of the first set of 5. I just want to go through real quick. We don't need to go into depth on that. Now, the next, we have romantic garden stuff, perfect patio, bowling night, cool kitchen, and backyard stuff. So that's my next set of 5. And these are a little bit more useful. I feel like the items in these, not only do I use a lot more in my own game, but they can be used mixed in with a lot of other stuff really, really easily. For example, romantic garden stuff has a lot of really nice just plants and also some decorative objects that work really well in gardens. Also some really nice clothing. Perfect patio is nice. It is lacking in a few items, but it's got a very almost generic kind of theme to the items in that pack, so it can really go anywhere. It also comes with the hot tubs. And bowling night stuff you might find it strange that it's there, but I really like some of the items in it. It's got that really good mid-century modern theme to it, and that goes really, really well with Get Famous expansion pack as well. And backyard stuff, that one's kind of fun because it's got the slip and slide, it's got a lot of really nice clothes, a lot of outdoor activities as well. Well, not a lot, but the slip and slide, and a lot of outdoor decorative items that go really, really nicely with everything. Cool kitchen stuff might be one that you might not have expected in that position, because I know a lot of people just don't really like that. I love it just because we don't have that many kitchens in the game, and that's pretty much the only kitchen I ever use because it's the best, most regular looking kitchen. Alright, so my top 4 stuff packs. This is where we're going to go into a little bit more detail, a little bit more in depth, and get into it. So number 4, I got movie hangout stuff. At first, I didn't really like this pack, but it grew on me because it's really colorful. It's got a lot of boisterous items. The CAS items are also really, really out there, and I love them when I use them in my Max Power's prequel series. That was my Parenthood Let's Play back in the day. I use all those bright colors to create these really quirky Sims. And then some of the items are really nice as well. Like, you obviously get the whole ability to watch movies, the big movie screens, that huge tree with the lanterns and everything is really nice as well. Overall, it's just a nice little pack if you want something a bit fun, a bit like Sims. It's very much The Sims in terms of its nature, if that makes sense. And number 3, we've got kids room stuff. Now, this one is fantastic because the items that come in it are so good for kids rooms. But not only that, but I use them around the houses all the time. Like the beds and the sort of bookcases and everything that comes with it are really, really nice. And all of the CAS stuff is actually pretty good too. Now, I'm not a CAS guy. I don't use Creator Sim a lot, but it has some good stuff. Number 2, vintage glamour stuff, and I guess that sort of reveals what number 1 is, but we'll get to that in a minute. Vintage glamour, I actually really love the style of this pack. You got the sort of black and gold theme throughout it. These really, really nice pieces of furniture. I use the bed a lot. Some of the wallpapers are a lot of fun too. It also comes with the butler, which it's not great in terms of actually playing with them. It's fun maybe once, but I wouldn't get it if you're trying to get a butler. That's not worth it, but the items and everything else that come in it are really, really nice, and I love them. Number 1, as you may have guessed, Laundry Day Stuff Pack. It's such a weird pack to be at number 1, just that title. Anyone who doesn't play The Sims or know anything about it is going to be like, Laundry Day stuff? That's really what you want to do? Well, yeah, it is. Not only are the items that come in are really, really nice, they feel really realistic and they're really detailed as well. It's by far the best stuff pack in my opinion. The items are so nice, they can be put into any house because they just feel like a home. And the whole gameplay element added by laundry is surprisingly fun if you like a challenge. If you're not really looking for that, maybe not so much, but I was against laundry at first because I've always really disliked it from The Sims 2 then The Sims 3, so I just assumed I'd dislike it in The Sims 4. But they did add a lot of stuff to it as well, like the whole thing of where you can do the laundry and add flowers to get traits that sort of affect your Sims differently. And then if you don't do the laundry, they get upset, and all that kind of usual stuff you'd expect. But it's surprisingly fun, and I really like it when I'm doing like a Ranks to Riches series or something to add an extra challenge to it. It takes more time to do stuff. It's a fun challenge. It's a fun bit of gameplay, adding the laundry machine, the drying machine, or like the wash tub and the clothesline. It's also just a little bit of realism to the game that's really, really nice. If you're buying one stuff pack, that's the one. If you don't have it, get it. Really, really good. Can recommend. Okay, on to game packs. We kind of flew through a lot of the stuff packs. We'll kind of do that with the game packs as well. There's 6 game packs. So I'm just going to do the bottom 3 right now. These ones, I wouldn't even say that they're not good. I'd just say you get the other 3 first. So at number 6, I've got Outdoor Retreat, then I've got Spa Day, and then Vampires. Now, each of these are great in their own right. Outdoor Retreat was the first game pack we got. We've never had a game pack in The Sims before. But the big problem I have with it is once you've been camping and you've gone and done that, you've done the herbalism skill that comes with it, it kind of just fades away. You never really use it again. Now, this is my opinion. I know there's some people out there that love going camping with their Sims a lot, and that's fine. If that's you, if you want a camping pack and you want to go camping all the time, absolutely grab it. But for me, it's just something I never use. The build and buy mode stuff I never really use either. It's just probably one of my least used packs in my game in general. So that's why it's at number 6. Number 5, I've got Spa Day. Now, the thing with Spa Day is I've never really used spas. And I say this a lot. I have used them like once or twice in specific videos and that, but never really gone out of my way to use a spa. And I don't think that's why you get this pack almost. The build and buy mode stuff though, on the other hand, really, really good. I love the elements that come with it. The floor tiles, the walling, all the sort of new windows and doors and everything. Build and buy, fantastic in this pack, but that doesn't really justify putting it higher on the list. So number 5 is where that sits. Number 4, Vampires. Now, it was kind of hard to put this one at number 4, but honestly, the other ones just beat it out in overall. So number 4 for Vampires. I say it's hard to put there because the build and buy mode in this is really, really nice. It's got some great items, especially to make your homes look older, run down. You got like cracks and cobwebs to put on the walls and all that. It's a lot of fun. And even the cast stuff, like all the themed clothing and all that, like this old Victorian clothing is super nice. Like it's got some really, really good stuff. And then it even comes with a new world, Forgotten Hollow. I think that's what it's called, unless I've forgotten it. It comes with that new world as well, and then it has the whole vampire gameplay system, which is just really, really good. It's so well done. You get the ability to choose whatever skills you want. You can be a good vampire, a bad vampire. It's really, really cool, and I really enjoyed playing it, and that's no word of a lie. It was a great pack. But I don't really like supernaturals, and I don't really like occults, and I don't really like that stuff. So I played it once, had a lot of fun with it once, but never really gone back. The build and buy mode is still good, and I still use that all over the place, but I just can't justify putting that higher because I only played it once, and I'm not really a big fan of vampires. Now, of course, if you love vampires and you want that in your game, maybe this is a bit higher for you. So number 3, I've put Jungle Adventure. This was a really fun pack. The world that comes with it is beautiful. So it's another vacation world. Just like Outdoor Retreat, you travel to it on vacations. It's a lot of fun. The big problem I have with it, same with some of the other ones, is that you use it once. Once you've completed it, you're not really going to do it again. Obviously, there's all the stuff to collect. You have to go back a few times to get all the different variants of the temple. So if you don't know what it is, real quickly, you go on vacation to this jungle environment. There's a temple hidden away that you have to break through and find your way to the temple through like lots of different archways and sort of find your way through the jungle. The higher your skill, the easier it'll be. So the more skills you have overall, the better it's going to help you get through to it. And that's really fun as well. That means there's sort of other reasons to build up skills in the game. Then when you get to the temple, it's a randomized temple lot. It has different puzzles and traps, although they're not really puzzles per se as they were in the Sims 3 World Adventures. They're more just like, here's a few options, choose one, it may or may not work. And then you just choose the other one if that didn't work, etc. And you find your way through eventually. Overall, it's actually really fun to play through. Really fun gameplay. But like I said, once you've completed it, once you've done all the temples, and once you've done, got all the things, all the collectibles, all the treasures and all that, it's just like, well, there's not really any point to go there again. But like I said, the world is beautiful. I really, really love the world. It's really nice to build in. It also comes with really good build buy stuff. I absolutely love it. And some of the cast stuff is really nice as well. So all that stuff's really good. It's really good, but it only earns it number 3. Number 2, and I guess you can guess what number 1 is, and number 2 is Dine Out. Now, this is just something that is a good pack to have in The Sims. So this adds restaurants, the ability to go to restaurants on dates, visit restaurants whenever you want. It also adds the ability to own and run a restaurant, which I absolutely love. I love being able to own and run my own businesses. That's one of my favorite things to do in The Sims. Not only do you get to control their lives all the time at home, but then you can control their lives at work as well. Essentially, that's why I kind of like running businesses, because then they don't just disappear during the day for work and come home. Rather, you're there at work with them, telling them how to make it work. Build and buy mode stuff with it is also really nice. I think there's some good cast stuff. You get all those sort of waiter outfits. Also, when you own and run a restaurant, you get to choose the whole menu, customize the entire menu, the staff outfits, the costume. Well, you could put costumes on. All that kind of stuff. You have full control over the whole restaurant, and I really, really like that. I did a whole Let's Play series on it. I think it was like 50 parts or something. Having said that, though, it is pretty buggy when you own a restaurant, and even visiting them, I think, can be quite buggy, but that's also Sims. It's kind of annoying, so I will say that just so you know, but it's still really fun, and I still love it. I think it's one of the packs that I'm going to continue using throughout the entirety of The Sims. And as such, number 1 is Parenthood. I don't think this is any surprise if you know anything about the game packs. Parenthood is one that essentially affects the entire game, and that's something that is really, really good. If you buy a pack and it changes the experience of the game, at least positively, then that's a really good thing. So what it does for kids, it adds the traits that they learn as they grow up, you know, like responsibility, conflict resolution, those kind of little traits, and you have to basically raise your kid properly. There's consequences for not raising your child properly. So that's something that you actually actively work on. You can actively make really good children or actively make really bad children, which I think is kind of fun. So there's actually a reason now to raise your kids properly, not just, you know, feed them and let them sleep. You actually have to teach them things. Rather than before, all we had to do was teach toddlers stuff. Then we have to teach, you know, children and teens things as well. So you're properly raising a child. On top of that, the build and buy mode stuff, really, really nice in the pack. All looks really great. The gameplay that adds is just so good that it beats out all other game packs by far. It's also just something that is part of The Sims. Like, I don't think you can play The Sims 4 without Parenthood. I mean, you can, but you probably shouldn't. So I would recommend, this is my seal of approval, buy Parenthood. Now on to the expansion packs, the big boys. We've got 6 of these expansion packs so far. And I have ranked them in the order that I think suits them best. So the bottom 3, I've got Get Together, Get to Work, and Get Famous. Literally all 3 Get expansion packs. So maybe this is a note for future expansion packs. Don't put Get in the title because it'll be at the bottom of the list. Having said that though, none of these packs are actually that bad. It's just obviously ranking them against the other ones. Some of them are really, really good. So Get Together, I put this at the bottom because to this day, I really don't understand what this pack is about. It comes with this beautiful world. If you want a new world, Windenburg is amazing. I think it's the biggest world in The Sims 4, the biggest map. It has so many lots. The actual whole map is really nice. Absolutely love it. But then the gameplay that it comes with is like what? The clubs system, which, I mean, yeah, you might use it from time to time. Clubs, you can, you know, essentially force your Sims to garden or fight in the streets if you want. It can help with things here and there, but it's not really solid enough of an idea for a whole expansion pack. It did also come with DJ boost and the DJ skill and dancing and the dancing skill, all that kind of stuff, but like, there's not that much gameplay in it. The build and buy, fantastic. Really, really nice items to build all these sort of old English and European homes as well, that kind of style. You can do all that kind of stuff. And then the cast as well is really good, but the gameplay is just not there. There's just like, it's like if you bought the Sims 4 base game and Get Together, you'd be like, okay, there's nothing new here. It's just a new world and a new look. Get to Work, I really love it. I really love it. And it's a shame to put it so low on my list because I've always loved running businesses, owning businesses, interactive careers. I've always loved that kind of stuff. But Get to Work kind of misses the mark because I think they spread themselves too thin. So they added the ability to own and run a retail store, but also added 3 interactive careers. Why am I doing 3 like that? 3 interactive careers. How do you do 3? Do you do it like this, or like this? Anyway, they added the interactive careers as well as retail. And it almost seems like none of them were done to their full of their abilities, right? Retail stores are fun, but there's just not that much customization. We had retail stores in The Sims 2, and that's still one of my favorite expansions to this day, The Sims 2 Open for Business. That did stores and business ownership perfectly, and I just don't understand why it hasn't happened again since then. That's like over a decade old. There's not enough control over your retail store. A lot of it is just kind of like, here's an item, buy it, and then money poofs, and like there's a lot more management, a lot more skill-based stuff to do in the Sims 2 version. That is kind of a shame and lacking in The Sims 4. Having said that, I still love retail stores in The Sims 4. I use them a lot. If you watch any of my videos, you know I do. But it's just not as good as it could be. Now, as for the interactive careers, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy them. But the same issue as some of the other things. You play them through once. It's like you don't really want to play them again. Like, it's that kind of gameplay experience where it's fun the first time you do it. Which is great. It's so much fun the first time. But kind of once you've done it, you're like, well, I don't really want to do that again. I've already done all of that. And there's not really any way around that, I don't think. The interactive careers kind of all suffered from that, and we'll talk more about them later. But Get to Work overall is a very fun pack. A lot of the build buy stuff, though, is very centered around the interactive careers, so there's not a lot of new stuff that you can use all of the time. So keep that in mind as well, but it's still a very fun pack. Number 4, Get Famous, which is our most recent expansion pack. Now, it's almost a shame to put it at number 4, because number 4 sounds bad, but it's not. It's still a very good expansion pack. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved playing through the career, but that's the thing, like we just spoke about, interactive careers are fun the first time. So everything we did in the acting career that comes with Get Famous, super fun. All the sets, the whole movie studio aspect is awesome. It's so cool. But if you watch my Let's Play, the further we got into it and the more we started repeating the same stuff, it's just like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I've already done it. Like, I'm just going to skip this, you know? So it loses the novelty after you've played it through the first time. But beyond that career, because I only did one active career in Get Famous, it's really good. It is fantastic. The other downside with Get Famous is obviously the world. The world is tiny. It's such a shame. Only 11 lots. It's like one of the best looking worlds, but it's so small. It's such a waste. So that's a real big shame. The build and buy mode, though, is fantastic in Get Famous. I love it. There's so many things. There's so much fun stuff you can do with it all. Like, it's really, really cool. And even like the cast stuff as well, the hairs, the clothes, really nice. I actually really love all of that stuff. And then also the gameplay. The gameplay of just getting famous and the fame system with all the perks and the points, really well done. I really love that system. It's a lot more versatile than just, you know, 0 to 5-star celebrity. You also get to choose perks and which sort of path you want to take. You can have bad reputation, good reputation, have fun with that kind of system. So I think that's something that we're going to keep using and keep seeing throughout, you know, further packs and that, in terms of like, I'm going to keep playing with the fame system. All right, the top 3. City Living at number 3. This one, I really like this one. The world is really nice. You got the social media career, the politics career, and the critic career. As well. So you get those 3 new careers. You get the city. The city is really culturally diverse as well. And I think that's something they did on purpose, is each of the areas are very different from each other. So you can have almost a different vibe in each section. And the cast stuff goes along with that really, really well. Like, each of those things are very nicely sort of styled and all that. And there's a lot of fun you can have with it. And then, of course, you have all the festivals that came with it. Now, the festivals are fun, but if you have seasons as well, it kind of breaks festivals a little bit, which is a shame. And I really, really want them to address that and update that. And what I mean is, if you have seasons and you go to GeekCon, the festival, GeekCon is all about, you know, computers and hacking and gaming and all that. And it's outside. So, you know, if it's raining and you go to GeekCon, everything's broken and you can't do anything. So it's like, that I feel like needs to be updated in some way. Either just say GeekCon stuff doesn't break, or just put a roof over it or something. I don't know. And just the whole city experience is pretty cool as well. You got the karaoke bars and the sort of basketball hoops and stuff are added. Oh, the apartments. I completely forgot about the whole apartment system as well. That's a bit of fun. It's a shame that they are restricted to the preset ones, but we do get a couple of penthouse lots as well to play around with. So the world itself is pretty fun. It also introduced the trait system for lots, but that's obviously in every game now. So overall, it's just a really nice pack to add for different types of gameplay. If you want to do something a little bit different, it's a nice one to add on. It's a very different world as well. So I think that means no surprises here. I think you can probably guess the order of the top 2. Number 2 is Cats and Dogs, and therefore number 1 is Seasons, but we'll get to that in a minute. So Cats and Dogs is a really good pack. I really, really love it. I've never been a big fan of pets in the Sims games, mostly because I have to take care of them so much and I just really don't want to. And you kind of don't have to in The Sims 4, so I think that's maybe why I like it a bit more. Pets cannot die from anything other than old age, and even that you can just buy a treat from the vet, and then they just age down and they're fine. Or, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's really easy to sort of work with. But having said that, we also now have vets. We've never had that before in Sims. So the whole vet clinic system, taking your sick pet to the vet, getting them treated, you can do all that kind of stuff. That's where you buy all the treats and the sort of medicines and all that. That's cool. But not only that, but you can own and run your own vet clinics. I think that's fantastic. And that's something that I really loved. As I've mentioned earlier in this video, I love owning and running businesses. So the ability to be able to do that was awesome. So not only that, the whole cats and dogs in this game, I guess probably the most customizable that we've ever had, considering you can just paint directly onto the pets themselves. And if you look on the gallery, some people have made some really amazing customized pets as well. So that is super awesome. The world as well, Brindleton Bay. I love Brindleton Bay. That's probably one of my favorite worlds in the game. It is super nice. It's almost like that sort of New England vibe, you know, that's got that sort of feel to it. I think it's really, really nice. I love it. Build and buy mode, also really good. I've been using a lot of that stuff all of the time. CAS, likewise, just there. I guess a real big downside to this pack is not being able to control your pets. Like, you can't click on the cat or the dog and tell them what to do or anything like that. I think their excuse was it's not realistic, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that's what they said exactly, but that seems silly considering this is The Sims we're talking about, where you can, you know, flirt with the Grim Reaper and you can, you know, marry an alien and have alien babies. Like, that doesn't line up with what The Sims is, so that seems kind of lame. But having said that, you can just download a really simple mod to enable controlling cats and dogs. I mean, that doesn't excuse it not being in the pack, but that's just as a heads up in case you wanted to know. But I think that's kind of the big downside of that pack, is just that. So other than that, it's pretty solid. Last but not least, in fact, it's the most, seasons. This is like the granddaddy of all packs because it touches every aspect of the game. If you install this, you're going to change every single world in your game. You're going to change all that kind of stuff. I think it is basically a must-have pack, along with Parenthood. I think this and Parenthood you pretty much have to have, and you have a really solid game experience. So obviously adds all the weather stuff, adds the seasons, and then it updated and overhauled all the gardening stuff as well. So if you have seasons and you're doing gardening, you know, plants grow better in different seasons, they die in other seasons. You can use the greenhouses and grow them indoors and all that. There's all that aspect, and I actually really enjoy that, number one. It also adds flower arranging, so, you know, you want to try and grow your own flowers and arrange them into the best ways, and you can make special types of ones that affect things differently. You've got the beehive coming back, and then the whole holiday system as well, where you can create your own holidays in the game, or, you know, go with the existing ones of like Christmas and Easter and whatever. They don't call them that in the game, obviously. They've got more generic titles, but you can then create your own specific holidays as well, however crazy or wacky or normal that you want to make them. The holiday system, I think, is really, really cool. And I think if you extend the length of seasons to maybe about 2 weeks, you can sort of get the best experience with it. I think seasons and the weather and all that kind of stuff is awesome. It is just, I don't know, I'd find it very hard to play without it. And here's the thing, in previous games, in The Sims 3, I really didn't like it. I didn't like the weather. I always found it annoying, but Sims 4, I actually really enjoy it. And I think they've done it better than they've ever done it before. But that's just my opinion, as is this entire ranking and order of all the packs. Let me know your top 3 packs in the comments down below. Which expansion stuff pack and game pack you love the most. Let me know. And let me know if you agree with my top ordering. So the top expansion seasons, top game pack was Parenthood, and top stuff pack was Laundry Day stuff. I reckon if you get those 3 packs, and only those 3 packs, you'll have a good time in The Sims. I think that will be fantastic. But that's it for me. That's my order. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will see you next time, and have an awesome day.